Hi guys, so today we are going to talk about our amazing new system extensions, and I'm going to apply them in real time to one of my hands. So today I'm going to be using the medium almond, which is going to be one of our most popular lengths and shapes, I know. These ones are pre-etched just now. So I have prepped my own little boy hands already. So the way that you prep them is just as you would for any other sort of extensions, whether you hand prep or e-prep, totally up to you. I prefer to e-file prep mine myself. But whatever you do, if you're using a normal nail file, make sure you use nothing higher than a 150 grit because the nails do need to be grippy. So first thing that we're going to do is we are going to size up our nails. So when we are sizing them, make sure that you are firmly pressing the tip onto the natural nail plate and that we make sure that it fits properly from side to side. Now, if the tip is a little bit too big, but the next one down is a bit too small, what you can do is take the one that's slightly too big and you can just gently file around the edges here until it is the right shape. So if I was doing both hands, I tend to put the same size out for both hands because for most people, they are the same size on each side. So next one. Let's go for a bigger size. So I am a continual extension wearer. So my poor nails never get a time to breathe. So they aren't the best nails in the whole entire world because usually, and I know this is complete blasphemy, I rip them off, which I definitely would not recommend. Definitely would not recommend doing that. So I've been using this system now for over 6 months and I really love it. So we have been using this type of system in our salon now for 6 or 7 years and it's completely taken over normal acrylics. And just because they look better, because they're not quite as bulky as normal acrylics, they're much faster to do, and the client actually tends to get a little longer out of them. So these ones, as I said, are our pre-etched tips. Now if they weren't the pre-etched tips, what we would recommend doing, because we do have several shapes and sizes that aren't pre-etched, is we would use our X-Etch. So this is a chemical etcher, so it will prepare the inside of the tip ready for adhesion. If you didn't have this, you could also hand etch them, but this makes it for a dust-free application and is much faster and easier. So we don't need to do that today. What we do need to do is we need to prime the natural nails. So we are literally going to swipe this over, make sure the full natural nail plate is covered, and then we will allow it to dry for about 4 seconds, which gives you just enough time anyway to prepare the next stage of your application. Be quite liberal with it, make sure that it is fully covered. So the next stage of the application, we have a couple of different options. So we have our normal brush on X gel in a 15ml bottle, and we also have our X gel in a 30ml squeezy tube. Now this is one of the things that we wanted to develop because we were using a couple of different systems molded together to get the best out of the systems. We liked some things from different brands and other things from others, but we didn't like one full brand. There was no sort of consistency. So this I prefer because it is literally just squeezing on a ball, but you can brush it on if you prefer. And we also have our 15ml brush on X gel sensitive. I will show both in this video on how to apply. So with this system, you do not need to lay down a base layer and cure it of gel. Also with this system, it's quite important if you get your lamp on, sorry, that's what I was just doing there, and get it nice and prepared. Now unfortunately you aren't going to be able to see me curing it from the angle that we're at today, but you will get the gist. So our system is a hands-free curing, so our torch is held by a stand, which means it's so much easier. You don't have to hold the torch with one of your hands. So if we are going to be doing it with the brush on, literally just swipe a small amount of gel onto the base of the tip there. If you ever get any on the underside, what you can do is just wipe it on the back of your glove. I didn't in that case, but just as an example. Then what we're going to do is we are going to line up the tip up to the cuticle, never over it, 45-degree angle, and we are slowly going to press down until it covers the free edge. And then we will keep firm pressing and we will hold it underneath our lamp. I like to hold it, if I was doing a client, for about 5 seconds until it started to cure. And then I would start working on the other hand. Obviously I'm just working on one hand now, so I'll leave it for the full 30 seconds to cure. I would recommend holding the finger approximately 10 centimeters away from the lamp to avoid anything such as a heat spike. You don't want to be too close. So we're going to hold that under there until it's fully cured. Okay, so we have one on there. Now we're going to go on to the next finger. So for this one, I'm going to show you with our X gel. So I like to keep it on its side, and that means that you're not going to get so many bubbles or anything like that. And then it's always ready to come out. So again, small amount on the base there. I always just like to wipe the underside just to make sure there's nothing there. Line it up to the cuticle close as you can, 45-degree angle, and press down until you've covered the free edge and no more. Now beginners of the system do tend to use a little more than is necessary. That's totally normal. Try not to cake the underneath of your client's nails with the product because it will be a little bit uncomfortable for them. And if you don't put enough gel on, that's okay. Lift the tip back off the nail and then just put a little bit more on. It's no problem at all. When we are lifting it up to the lamp, try and keep that firm pressure, especially at the cuticle area. And try to avoid moving, because if you move, especially up and down, you can get air bubbles, and air bubbles, especially if they are around the edge of the nail, they can lead to lifting, which we do not want. We want maximum adhesion. So again, we're just going to pop a little ball here. 45-degree angle right up to the cuticle and very firm, so we are pressing firm. If you can see as well that I am supporting the underneath of my own finger, so I can really get a firm grip down. Obviously this is much easier when you're doing it on a client because you have two hands to do this with. It's not so easy for me right now. Now this system with practice can take you approximately 30 minutes from start to finish to do a full set, including one colour gel polish. Obviously beginners are going to take a little bit extra time, and some people, they do more in-depth prep and things like that, and that can take them a little bit longer as well. But 30 minutes for the system. This will be one of the fastest, if not the fastest system on the market. So again, a ball, 45-degree angle. Don't ever just smush it on, because what's going to happen is you might get leakage around the edges, which is not so much of a problem, but it's just more of a hindrance at the end of the treatment, because you'll need to get rid of any little cured bits of gel that is outside the nail. The reason we decided to start developing this is, as I said earlier in the video, we have been using this type of system in our very own salon for around 6 years. And we weren't using one consistent brand because we liked, as I said, different elements for each brand. In our own salon, we now don't really do any normal acrylics at all. We now only do this, so we can do easily around 100 sets of these a week in our salon, and our clients absolutely love them because they're less bulky, more natural than normal acrylics, and they last them actually longer than normal acrylics. Now, when it comes to the thumb, what I prefer to do, rather than putting one big amount, is I prefer to put sort of 2 smaller balls side by side at the base of the tip. Because the the thumb is a wider surface area to cover, it just helps create a more even coverage. Again, 45-degree angle, very firm, especially at the cuticle area, pressing down until we are completely covering the free edge, and then under the lamp. Oop, I've just knocked the camera there. And as simple as that, guys. So this system, as I said, that's just taken me around 10 minutes to apply these. And if I was working on a client, I would be working on both hands at the same time. So within the same amount of time, both hands would be fully applied. Because as, for instance, I'm curing right now, we would ask the client to keep their finger underneath the lamp while you're doing the same thing on the other hand. That cuts down the time massively. And then it's simple as that. Applied. Ready for painting. So at this point, what we would recommend doing is we would use either our X etch that can also again chemically prepare the nail tip for painting, because what we need to do is we need to take the shine off so the nail is ready and nice and sticky for painting. Or which is another option is you can use our buffer. So we have our nail order ones here. This is a 180, so you can use a 180 or 240, and it is simply to remove the shine from the nail. We do not want to thin out the tip any because it is already the perfect structure and perfect thickness for what it is, but it's literally to just remove that shine off the nail so that it is ready for painting. Another thing is sometimes with the tips is you get a little, I don't know if you can see it on this thumb here, little jaggy bit at the end there. All we want to do is simply just file that off, just a few quick flicks, and that'll just take it away. You can also alter the length and shape of these tips for a client who may want, for instance, a shorter coffin than this, or if you weren't carrying the full stock, the full range, you could turn this easily into an almond or a stiletto shape if you liked. So you can both cut them and file them to the shape of your choice. I hope that was easy for you to follow, guys, and if you have any questions, please leave them below. We would love to hear them, and we are so excited about this system, and we hope you guys are too, and that it changes your nail practices and nail career, meaning that you have beautifully applied extensions that last longer than traditional extension systems, but done in a fraction of the time. Thanks, guys.